What's up everybody? I hope you're doing well. So I already gave away the spoiler of this video in its title. In my businesses, I don't prioritize efficiency. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I don't prioritize efficiency. In fact, I would go so far as to say that at least in some instances, I intentionally do things in a less productive way. Now, I realize that this stands in contrast to what most folks in a similar position as me would advise. The prevailing advice, of course, is to maximize efficiency, delegate tasks when you can so that you can maximize the income that you earn while minimizing how many hours that you work. And of course, the idea behind this is that you can spend less time working so that you can spend more of your time doing the things that you love. But as I've reflected on some of my inefficient choices lately, it's made me realize that there's more to my end goals beyond simply working less while making more money. So in today's video, I'll reveal some of the ways that I've been intentionally inefficient in my businesses, as well as some of the goals that I'm currently prioritizing in my career. But before we hop into it, let me introduce myself. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice, and here I share the tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. Now, before diving into naming some of the ways that I'm not so efficient in my businesses, it feels important to preface with an important detail, and that is that as a person in general, I am highly efficient. Now, I realize this must be sounding so confusing. I titled this video about how I'm prioritizing inefficiency, and now I'm telling you that I'm very efficient. What? How does this even make sense? Let me explain. So as an individual, I'm learning that I'm highly efficient, meaning in any given hour of work, I can probably get more stuff done than the average person in the same hour of work. I'm just able to kind of tune out the distractions, put my head down, cut out the fluff, and get the thing done. Now, upon hearing that, some of you might just assume that I'm hardwired to be super productive, and though perhaps there may be some hardwired elements to my capacity to get a bunch of stuff done quickly, there have been many contexts in the past where I have not been able to get stuff done in a timely manner at all. So I think there's more to the story than just, Marie is really good at getting stuff done quickly. Now, with all of that said, despite being a rather productive person as an individual, I don't maximize efficiency in my therapy practice or for private practice skills. In other words, I have many opportunities within my reach where I could increase my efficiency in both of these businesses, and I choose not to take them. One sweeping category of that is, at least so far, I've chosen not to hire any help for either business. So some examples of places where I could totally be more efficient if I hired someone to do things for me include a major one, video editing, which is where I spend the bulk of my work week hours on. I edit these videos every single week and I do it 100% by myself. If I hired someone else to do it, it would save me a lot of money, free up that time where I could put my energies towards something else that could earn more money. There are lots of other ways I could hire help that would be way more efficient than the way I'm spending my time, whether it be social media management, managing my phone calls and scheduling for my practice. It could be managing my inbox or ghostwriting, copywriting for emails, blog posts, things like this. I haven't hired anyone so far for any of these tasks, and it would totally be way more efficient if I did. And in addition to not hiring help for my businesses, there are a few other ways that I deprioritize efficiency very intentionally, including not taking any sort of shortcuts on like getting the thing done, including these videos or anything else I might be doing for private practice skills. I kind of like to do the deep dive, go all in, and not really cut any corners when I probably could and save a lot of time and potentially make the same amount of money. And also with my therapy clients, I really like to take my time with them. We'll talk about some reasons why, but I am less rigid on some of the boundaries, like 50 minutes is up, or our 15-minute phone call has hit 15 minutes, so we need to be done, and creating some space within appropriate limits for my clients as well. So all of this said, I am well aware that I could hire some help, and I could also set some more rigid boundaries in my businesses, and I could either work fewer hours to make the same amount of income, or I could increase my income working the same amount of hours, probably exponentially increase my income. Now let me be clear, I've said this in videos before, but I am not anti-hiring at all. In fact, I might consider hiring kind of soon. So please, don't come for me down the road when I do hire and you say, well, Marie, you said in this video you don't hire. I'm not anti-hiring, but the reason why I might hire is less about optimizing efficiency, because if that were my main goal, then I would not be editing these videos anymore. I would most definitely have hired out help for someone to do that for me. Now, if we put our sort of business person thinking cap on, we might say that I'm doing it all wrong because I'm not optimizing efficiency. I'm leaving money on the table basically in my businesses. And so this is not the right way to do things. However, there are some other items that are relevant to my end goals in my career beyond simply earning as much money as possible or doing so while working as few hours as possible. Now, sure, let's be clear. I definitely have the two end goals of earning the income that I want while also having a sense of work-life balance between the amount of time that I work and spend on other things. But I also have a very high priority on an end goal of absolutely loving the work that I do while I'm working. Now, I'm not sure if this is mostly like a millennial thing or something else, but I don't have the end goal of working as little as possible so that I can then run off and do the things that I actually love. My hope in life is to find deep joy and meaning in all of the arenas of life that are important to me, which includes work, personal, and play. So I also want to make sure that the time that I spend working is deeply meaningful and intrinsically enjoyable to me. Something I've learned about myself as I've worked towards building this structure that I love is that when I do overemphasize efficiency, it comes at the expense of some of these other aspects of my work that bring me deep joy. I can start to feel like the main reasons why I'm doing whatever work I'm doing are to earn income, and therefore the work itself is not so fun. Or I can feel overwhelmed by trying to get so many things done and sort of task switching too much when I really like to enter the state of flow and maybe spend 5 hours straight editing a video. While I'm taking my time doing these various work tasks, I'm super aware that I'm not doing them very efficiently, but I'm enjoying my time. And so not only am I earning the income that I want, but I'm doing something that I love. So even though a significantly higher income is very much within my reach right now, I don't necessarily feel the need to go out and grab it. And who knows, like I said, there may be a day in the future, maybe even the very near future, where I do decide to hire help for some of these things. But if I make that decision, it will be based on wanting to kind of create a sense of balance across all of my values and arenas of life, and not exclusively just wanting to minimize how much time I'm spending working or exclusively maximizing how much income I'm earning. Now, I know for many of us, myself included, early in our career especially, we spend so much time and energy focusing on working towards that income that we eventually want to earn. And at least for me, and I know for many of you, that income feels very out of reach early on. And so you just kind of put your head down, get the work done so that hopefully you can build towards earning the income that you want someday. But I think what happens for a lot of people is if and when you're privileged enough to arrive at that income point that you set out for, you're so used to keeping your head down and prioritizing working more, earning more income, that it's hard to stop and just enjoy that you've arrived where you were planning on arriving to begin with. And so for me, it has taken some intentionality to say, oh, I'm here now. I don't have to keep striving. I can just focus instead on enjoying the space that I've created at this income level. And perhaps because I've filled both my personal life and my work life with things that I absolutely enjoy, then it's very easy to tap into motivation to get those things done. And just maybe those are some reasons why I am so productive with the time that I am working. Now, it feels important as a closing disclaimer to acknowledge that this is just my perspective for my own life, and I don't at all look down upon or judge people who have different approaches, different perspectives to how they run their businesses. But it does seem to me that my approach to my businesses is maybe a bit countercultural, or at the very least represents a perspective that I don't often hear emphasized amongst fellow business coaches, and so it felt important to add my voice and my perspective into the mix so that as you approach your work life, you feel like you can make a decision that best fits you, your values, and your needs. And before we close, I'd like to thank TherapyNotes.com for sponsoring this video. Now, there are some ways that I do like to be more efficient because I don't want to waste time on things I don't love, and TherapyNotes is a practice management tool that can help you spend less time focusing on managing your practice so you can do the things that you love. If you're interested in checking out TherapyNotes, you can get 2 months to try it for free with no commitment just by clicking the link in the description of this video. Well, I hope you found this video and this perspective helpful. Let me know in the comments what some of your kind of career goals are for yourself as well, because it's interesting to see how different people prioritize different things. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well. You might hear some children in the background. It's not my child, it's a neighbor. Welcome to the nomad life.